this one we're going to be solving some radical equations. It's really not going to be that bad, guys, I promise. Alright, let's start. Let's start off pretty easy. Let's write this problem down. 2 square root 4x plus 8 minus 4 equals 8. Write this problem down. I'm going to take you through step by step how we're going to solve this. Alright, to start, we want to get that square root all by itself. So this part right here, we want to get it by itself. So I'm going to move the 4 and I'm going to move the 2. First up's the 4. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So those cancel and I get 2 square root 4x plus 8 equals 12. I'm going to divide by 2 and get the square root of 4x plus 8 equals, what's 6? Man, my brain's slow. Okay. Nothing difficult so far. We need to get rid of that square root. And the opposite of a square root, the way you cancel it out, is you square it. And if you square the left side, you also square the right side. Now, the cool thing about squaring a square root is they both go away. They cancel each other out. So on the left, I have 4x plus 8. On the right, 6 squared is 36. And then we're just going to solve it. Now it's a really easy equation. I'm going to subtract 8. So I get 4x equals 28. And divide by 4. And x is 7. On these square roots, you do always want to check your answer. So I'm going to take 7. I'm going to plug it back in right there. So 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 8 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. So 2 times 6 minus 4 is 8. So it checks out. Let's do another one. Let's stay pretty easy. X plus 2 and then plus 4 is on the outside equals 7. I'm going to let you guys try this one. Again, remember, you're going to want to move the 4 and then get rid of your square root. So pause it, try this one, and when you turn it back on, I'll go through the answer. Okay, so you should have subtracted 4. That's your first step. So you get the square root of x plus 2 equals 3. To get rid of that square root, you square both sides. The square root and the squared cancel. So x plus 2 equals 9. And when you solve it, x is 7. Again, you want to check it. 7 plus 2, I'm going to plug it back in right there. 7 plus 2 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. It checks out. Alright, I'm going to do one that's a little bit harder. Let's do this one. The square root of 3x plus 1 equals the square root of 5x minus 1. Okay. The square root on the left is already by itself. I'm going to square the left side. I'm going to square the right side. Left side's easy. Those cancel and you get 3x plus 1. Right side's not so easy. Squaring, if you'll remember, it means multiplying it by itself. So I'm going to do the square root of 5x minus 1 times the square root of 5x minus 1. So FOIL, bring this down, 3x plus 1. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is just 5x. Square roots go away. Square root 5 times negative 1 is negative square root 5x. Negative 1 times square root 5x is negative square root 5x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. I'm going to go ahead and move this 5x over here to the left. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2x plus 1. We can combine these middle two terms. Negative 5x minus 5x is negative 2 square root 5x. And then I'm going to bring down my plus 1. I'm going to move my 1 over by subtracting it. So minus 1, minus 1. Those are nice, and they both actually cancel out. So I have, I'm going to go to the next page. I have negative 2x equals negative 2 square root 5x. I'm going to get 2. I'm going to move this. These are multiplying, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is just, they cancel. So x equals the square root of 5x. To get rid of a square root, we're going to square it. And if we square the right side, we square the the left, so I'm going to subtract 5x. So I have x squared minus 5x equals 0, because you can't combine them. So now we're going to move to factoring. So watch what I'm going to do with this. That's where I'm at, equals 0. They both have an x, so I'm going to take an x out. So if I have two x's, an x squared, I take an x out, I'm left with an x. I still have my 5, and if I have an x and take an x out, no more x's. And then if you remember with factoring, when you get it down here, you set both parts equal to 0. So x equals 0, and x minus 5 equals 0. I'm going to add 5 on both sides and get x equals 5. Now you want to check your answer. So if you remember our very first equation, the original was the square root of 3x plus 1 equals the square root of 5x minus 1. So I'm going to start by plugging in 0. If I plug in 0, I get 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. So the square root of 1 equals 5 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1. Those two don't equal. In fact, you can't take the square root of a negative 1. So the 0 does not work. Let's try the 5. I would get the square root of 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 1 is 24. Oh, wait. No. What am I doing? So this 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. And 5 minus 1 is 4. So it works. I get 4 on both sides. Alright. I think you should be good to go with the front page. So go ahead and try and do the front page. And when you get done with that, watch the inequalities video. Alright?